In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I set up my green screen for all my visual effects productions for music videos, where you can turn a simple garage like this into something absolutely crazy, just like this. Green screen setup can be a little bit of a boring subject to touch on, but it is absolutely crucial for your production. All right, let's get into it. Extend these out like this. And I know this is very self-explanatory right now, but you know, if I'm gonna cover everything, might as well cover everything. All right, so I think this extends out to be about what we want. Yeah, something like that should do. Now, what I'm gonna need to do is unpack this and then use some of these clamps that I have to make sure that everything's tight. It's so tight and packed up. All right, so I'm gonna find the edge here. And for those of you that are wondering, this is a 20 by 10 green screen from Westcott. So we found where the rod gets inserted. We're gonna take this and stick it through. And you know, this is way easier if you got a team of people with you. You know, what I'm gonna do instead of slipping it through, I'm just gonna line this up and use a couple clamps. So I stretched this to be as tight as I can, going from all the way down to the end to here, so that way it can eliminate any of the wrinkles that might show up. So pulling it as tight as you can is the best option. It's freaking hot in here. What we're gonna do now is we are going to pull out the green screen so that way it's easy to lift and everything just goes right up along with it. Okay, I think this is unraveled enough. What I'm gonna do now is attempt to do this by myself. It's like I said, it's way easier if you have somebody with you, because doing this all by yourself in a really freaking hot garage kind of sucks. So if you need the green screen to be longer, what you can do is flip the green screen, add an extra stand, and extend the pole arm out, clamp all along the way, and then just have an extra green sheet to lay on the floor for your subject to stand. All right, time to hoist her up. Man, I wish I had another person here with me. It's gonna get a little lopsided now. Oh, we're getting there. We are getting there. Make sure this is even on this side. Okay, this one a little bit more. I think it's pretty tall. I think it's pretty good. It's a little around 90 degrees outside right now, and I'm in a garage, so it's a little toasty. Okay, so now what we're gonna wanna do is take the edge here, and you're gonna stretch it as much as you can and clamp along the side there, so that way it's nice and joy. All right, now we're gonna smooth out the surface here, so that way there's no wrinkles. We don't like wrinkles here, okay? And if the band that you're shooting on or subject that you're shooting on is moving around a lot, you can weigh this down with some sandbags or whatever you got really. Looks pretty good. All right, we finally got the green screen set up. Now we need to focus on the lighting. All right, we're back. As you can see, we got all the lights and the green screen set up here, but there's a couple things that we gotta go over really quick. So this light here, I'm using a Aputure 300X, and these are the settings for that. It's at 100% and 5600 Kelvin. And then on the sides here, we got 2 battery-powered ice lights to cover each side of the green screen. So you want 2 lights on each side of the green screen, and it's really important to have a light shooting this way and then a light shooting this way to make sure that there's no green spill coming onto your subject right here. And then I also have a key light right here shooting at where I'll be standing. And the other thing to keep in mind is if you get a little bit too close, not only are you going to be risking spill on the back of your subject like this, but also see this really gross shadow that's coming up on the green screen here? Yeah, we do not want that. So have your subject step up a little bit closer like this. So he's right in the middle, so that way this light and that light back there can catch the light of the green screen, while this one can eliminate that green spill that's gonna be on me. So if we dim it down to about 57%, it's gonna be a lot less harsh on me right here. And then one more thing, your subject's standing here where you want them to be, but I'm 5'8". This is roughly 10 foot, probably 8 foot right behind me. And the farther up I go, if you look in camera here, I'm showing you this right now. If I move up, see my arms are right above the green screen. So you want to find the sweet spot and try to figure out where the best place for your subject to be. Obviously this can get a lot taller if I was in a bigger space, but it's just my garage, the ceilings aren't that tall. So you want to find a space where you can lift these up as much as can. So see that my hands would get cut off there. And you want to make sure that it's wide enough too, so in case like, you know, your subject kind of goes off a little bit, anything that's outside of the green screen area will get cut off in post-production. And if you want your subject to be a little bit darker on one side, just kill this light here. So you get more of a darker look like this. That way, if you're putting your subject into a darker environment where there's just one key light on them, this is probably what you're gonna want. Okay, this part's really important. I use a Blackmagic Design Pocket 6K camera. I'm using a 16mm lens right there. The aperture I'm using is right around 5.6. Going 60 frames a second, 1/120 for the shutter speed, and then the ISO is at 1250. With the Blackmagic camera, I can check the false color, which is your exposure for everything. If you don't have false color, it's not a big deal, but if you do have access to false color, this is extremely helpful. So the purples and the blues are where it's underexposed, green and pink are perfectly exposed, red, which is where that light is there, is overexposed. Where everything is grayed out, that's where everything is evenly lit. That is kind of what we're going for with the green screen. Sup, it's Future John here, editing this video, and I forgot to mention a couple of things. One thing that's really important is if you can eliminate spill, the best way to do that is to hang up a black sheet on each side of the green screen. That's a huge help. And then for drums specifically, drums are by far the hardest thing to key out when it comes to a green screen because the cymbals are reflective. So because they're reflective, they're most likely going to catch a lot of the green spill that's on the floor. So what you can do is actually put like a black sheet close but not directly underneath the cymbals, and if you can angle them, that's even a bigger plus. But I know a lot of drummers probably don't prefer that. But yeah, that's a really big thing. And then two, if your subject has blonde hair, that is probably going to be the point where you decide if you should use a green screen, because a blue screen is going to be a better option, simply because green is closer to yellow on the color scale. So because of that, blonde hair can get lost within the key of the green screen a lot easier if it was on blue, because it's the complete opposite of the color spectrum. Another thing that's a huge help is if you can avoid having any sort of green on your subjects, that is a huge plus. I like to have my subjects wear black almost every single time I shoot a green screen, just because it's the most contrasting. It's the easiest for editing to pick up, and yeah, that's all I can think of for now. So, okay, back to your regularly scheduled program. Haven't done that in a while. All right, well, that's about all I got for you, and that is how I set up my green screen stuff. So if you guys have any questions, make sure you comment below and I'll answer them as best I can. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.